So I was waiting for this grade. CBS Sports gave every single team a grade for week 1. And I mean, if I had to give us a grade for week 1, here's what I'll say, okay? Our defense, they get a B-. Great turnover by Dax Hill. 2 great sacks by our defensive line. Overall wise for most of the game, most of the first half, really shutting down the Browns, only allowing 3 points until the end of the half where they had that draw play by Deshaun Watson. Overall, first half, B- for our defense. Special teams in the first half, C-, D+. Brad Robbins, yes, conditions definitely hurt him. It wasn't great, but I would say overall wise, he had a couple bad punts. Didn't really work out for him. D+, C-. Our offense, F-. F- for our offense. Second half, defensively, I would probably put him down like at a C-, C+. Kind of in that ballpark range. Probably in the C+ range. I mean, they didn't do anything crazy in the second half, but they still played pretty solid. They did everything we needed them to do. They got a couple key stops, but overall wise, I mean, when you play 99.9% of the game, and after every single long drive over and over and over and over again, you just go to the sideline, gas, tired, finally we got stopped. 3 and out for the offense. Go back on the field, please. At some point, you just give up. So, I'm going to give them a C+. They deserve an A+ in both first and second half. They deserve that. But if I'm being legitimately unbiased, just grading them here. Yeah. The offense in the second half, F-. Like, there's no excuse. We only got a field goal. The only reason we got a field goal was because of the fact that it was we got an interception and we got a good field position. Actually, no. The field goal actually was because of a good or bad punt by them. They punted the ball and it was a crappy punt, so we got a field goal off of it. We didn't even get by the way, we didn't even get a field goal off the interception we had. Money Mac missed it, which again, in the conditions, I'm not going to blame him for. So let's talk about this. F. Again, if you average out the grades, right? Like, in the first half, I'd give our offense a 25. In the second half, I'd give our offense a 20. In the first half, I'd give our defense probably an 80. In the second half, I'll give our defense a 78. Divide that by 4. Our overall grade for the day, 50.75, according to me. That is an F. So I agree that would be an F. The Bengals spent 60 minutes frailing in the rain on Sunday. The offense never got going, as Joe Burrow threw for 82 yards and converted just 2 of 14 third downs before being pulled in the fourth quarter. Being pulled out of the game in the fourth quarter. The offensive line struggled with Myles Garrett, and the Browns' pass rush, which left the Bengals defense at a disadvantage since it has been majority of the game on the field. No one is panicking in Cincy, but this was a gross season opener. We look forward to seeing what the Bengals are capable of when the sun comes out. And like they say, the sun comes out tomorrow, right? We need that sun. Yeah, it was ugly. I mean, I think T had the most targets in this game. He had 7. I think he had 9 targets, and all of them were incompleted. It was awful. Our play calling was F-. Our play call was just simply the most vanilla play call you could possibly have, and there was no reason at all to assume our offense would get going with that kind of play call, but it's not all in the play call. There was passes, wide open touchdown, where Joe did get hit, but he missed the wide open touchdown to T. It was just so ugly. For the Browns, I got an A. This was the season opener Browns fans wanted to see. Even though they spent an entire afternoon in pouring rain, Deshaun Watson looked motivated on the offense. and pulled off some nice scrambles. While the defense completely dominated Burrow's offense, get excited about what Jim Schwartz can potentially do with this front seven in 2023. I would say for the Browns, the first half on defense, they got an A+. The second half on defense, they got an A+. On offense, in the first half, the conditions definitely hurt them a lot. But Watson did miss a couple throws. I think he missed like 7 or 8 throws. But again, it was really about gripping the football. Burrow couldn't grip it. And for the first half, we also had the problem with, they had the problem with Deshaun Watson not being able to grip the football either. But in the second half, we saw the glove, was put on Joe's hand for that said reason. So my personal opinion, I say 100-100 for the offense, for the defense, for both halves for the Browns. Their first half offense, I'm going to say it was an 85. I think it was pretty solid. Wasn't perfect, but it was an 85. Their second half offense, I'm going to give a 90. So I would give their grade overall wise in 93.75. Which again, compared to our freaking 50 whatever, it was horrendous. And again, listen, I'm not looking at this as doom and gloom. I'm not looking at this as, the ship has sailed. I mean, the ship is, sinking. Jump the ship. And I know I've seen a lot of people on Twitter acting like that, which I still think is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, come on. It's 1 week, guys. It's 1 week. I know it sucks because we lost a divisional matchup. We lost an AFC North conference matchup too. But again, this is going to happen, right? We had a quarterback who didn't play the preseason, didn't play, any training camp. And I'm going to be the first person to admit I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I thought it wouldn't impact him. I really thought it would not impact him. I thought, okay, if Burrow misses all that time, it's not going to change anything. Clearly it did. There was no timing between him and T. Higgins. Wide open T. Higgins, and Burrow threw a completely wrong route because he expected T to be somewhere where he wasn't. Like, I was wrong. That was definitely a problem. The calf strain also was a problem. I know they don't like to allude to it, but listen, at the end of the day, you could tell in that game, that calf strain was a problem. He couldn't move, he couldn't run around, he couldn't be mobile or anything because of that calf strain. And I think they're not talking about how much of a problem it actually was, but it really was a problem. And with this defensive line the Browns have, you're going to have to sometimes extend the pocket and move around. And there were plays where it looked like Joe was going to take off running, like once he got to the outside. He couldn't do it because, again, the calf strain. So, it was a mess. It was really a freaking mess, but it's 1 week of the season, and while yes, it sucks, let's be honest. If we went into this season saying there was a 100% chance we're going to win this game, I don't think truly any fan thought 100% we're going to win this game. I think every fan kind of thought, in my perspective, where it's like it was a 65-45 split. And clearly I was incorrect on that one. I should have had like a 70-30 split. But it is what it is, And how we got to look at it is, again, we lost the AFC Championship game last year, right? Got to keep moving forward. That's the past, right? And I know it sucks because as fans especially, we get upset, we get depressed, we get, we love our team, we want our team to win. But you got to keep looking on to next week. You can't look at what just happened or, you're going to drive yourself crazy, right? You're going to drive yourself crazy. All you can do from last week is we can learn from it, learn what we need to do better at, get better at, and continue to work on that. Every single week of the NFL season, you get yourself almost like a blueprint, right? You get yourself a blueprint of what do you look like on the field? How does your team look? What do you need to work on? What do you need to get better? Yesterday, we found out the blueprint was offensive line-wise, they didn't look that great versus one of the best defensive lines in football. We found out that there was timing issues with Burrow and the guys. We found out that the weather definitely impacted us a lot. We found out the calf strain was a problem. But we also found out our defense looked really good. So again, there's so many different factors that you can take away from every single game and stress and get upset and be like, oh, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. Listen, yesterday's loss is unacceptable. Okay? Yesterday's loss is not good. Yesterday's loss is something that's going to impact us the rest of the season. Yes. But we can't make it the only thing we think about the rest of the season, right? We can't use it. We got to use it as motivation, not a crutch. That's what I'll say. Yesterday's game, it happened. It didn't pass. But again, it's motivation. It's not a crutch. We're not using it to say, oh, blah, blah, blah. We got to do... No, we are going to use it as motivation moving forward to become the best team we can become. Who day out.